Okay, well I just started some basic disassembly of the CB77 and I noticed that the air filters are, they're pretty old, but they're not too bad. At least just to try to get the bike running, they'll do just fine. I did see that the wiring is a bit of a mess, but it looks like I've got a brand new, is that a regulator? That looks pretty darn brand new. So I'll do some electrical testing on it and see if it needs any help. The battery was shot. I went ahead and got a replacement battery, and we'll see how that goes. I want to measure resistance on the system and make sure that the ignition switch, when you turn it off, that I don't have a short anywhere, because before I hook the battery up, I don't want to ruin the battery. And of course, even when I hook it up, I'm not going to leave it connected. I'm just going to use it. Mainly what I want to do is I want to check the electrical system out, see what I've got, and then to see if I've got spark coming down to the spark plugs. If that's the case, if I've got spark there, then I know that I've got enough in order to test ignition, because you need spark, you need compression, you need fuel. So that'll take one of the three variables out. Okay, the tank is off. It was pretty easy to remove. Sure enough, this tube that goes to the petcock is the sump or reserve feed, and this is the main feed. There's no filter attached, but it's a tube that sticks up here so that you can draw fuel, normally, and then when you get to that level, you switch it to the reserve, get yourself to a gas station, and you're good to go. Below it, now I'm taking a look to see what I've got. Looks like two coils. I got to refer to my manual here. So left and right hand. So a pair of coils shown on the left shows an early model with a 180-degree crankshaft. Okay. And otherwise it would have been just one coil for the two of them. So mine looks like this. And I guess there's going to be one contact breaker set. Yep, it's right here. And then the other side feeds the speedometer. Okay, that makes sense. So I'm going to have one contact set to work with, and two carbs, obviously, two coils. And they have to be two coils because they fire 180 degrees opposite from one another. That's really interesting. So I'm guessing that once I get into this thing, it's going to have two sets of contact breakers. We'll see. But wow, yeah, looks pretty nasty. It looks pretty old. Looks pretty farmy. But that's what I've got. By the way, when I pulled the tank off, let's take a look at the tank real quick. The tank itself on the inside is fairly rusty. Let me see if I can lift it up with the light showing. Yeah, I can get that. See that rust in there? It's not the worst I've seen, but definitely it's rusty. So at the very least it'd need to be cleaned with some rust remover just to get the loose pieces out. But it should be good enough for me to use just to get the thing started. I don't so far see any pinholes in it leaking fuel, but we'll find out. But what I first want to do is I'll want to cap off the holes and fill it with that metal rust remover and see how much of this stuff I can get out. This goes to show that I am a goofball. It even says Type 1 on the top, and when you get into it, yes, there are two breaker point sets that will have to be adjusted. I'm going to leave them as is for now, but yep, it's Type 1. Okay, I'm testing the main electrical system. This is where the battery connects with the switch in the far right position, and battery leads set to ohms connected to the ground and power. I'm getting an open circuit. When I switch it to red, the circuit's definitely closed, and let's see, 3 ohms, 3.1 ohms. Does that change when I flip the light? Well, that switch is all buggered up. Switches from, I don't know, it doesn't really switch much, which is okay. I don't know, brake light? Let's see, let's activate the brake light. So not any real change in terms of resistance with the brake light on. Now switch it all the way to the left, I'm back to open circuit. But, man, that seems awful low in resistance. 3 ohms. I better check on that. Well, I got a brand new battery from this company called Batteries Plus, and it is an XT9L-B. AutoZone had a similar battery, but it was less cranking amps. And so, okay, I went ahead and replaced the battery, and what I did is I used a brash brush to clean off all of the connectors. I went ahead and put a battery tender cable on just out of habit, but then in between each one of them I put dielectric grease, and I made sure that I didn't get grease on anything else. And so what I do is I go ahead and run the screw in just so that there's a gap there, and then I squeeze and then dab down in between the terminals that dielectric grease, and then I lift it up vertically and make sure I don't get it on anything else. The only reason is that grease conducts electricity, and if you go ahead and cross the plus terminal to a negative one to your ground, then that defeats the purpose. You're not conducting the stuff that you want. So I've got that all connected. Nothing sparked or popped or made any horrible noises, and I'm verifying, yes, that is the plus terminal here on the right, and that is the negative terminal on the left, which goes to ground. I've pulled the spark plugs out. I went ahead and brash brushed them as well. They're old plugs. I'm not going to actually run them on this, but I just want to see if I'm going to get some spark. But first things first, I do know that my horn here is disconnected. It needs to be reconnected. I believe the wiring diagram shows it coming off of the power to the headlight, and this is so darn short. I can see why this would have gotten pulled probably. I just didn't run a long enough wire, I guess, or had it too tightly. Yeah, it was just too tight. That's all. But anyway, I don't think that's going to be a problem in just getting this thing to not start, but turning on the electrical power. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be real quiet because I want to listen to see if I hear any hissing or fizzing or anything like that. Here we go. Oh, I got a light up front. See? That's pretty cool. I got light on the instrument panel. I got a brake light, or a running light. I'm turning it off real quick because I don't know if I have a problem with the electrical system yet, and I don't want to kill my battery. It was 45 bucks, So let me turn this on and see if I have brake light actuator. Ooh, I do! The brake light works. Okay. There's no turn signals. Alright, so that's cool. What do I got here? So I think there's a way to turn on and off the headlight with the switch, but I don't think the switch feels like it's loose in the canister. Yeah, I need to open this up and I need to fix that switch. So I'm not going to be able to test that. I guess there's nothing else that I can test except maybe connect the horn up. Hey, what the hell? Let's go ahead and do that. I can hold the thing. So let me set the camera down here. Alright. There's no real chance of getting electrocuted on this, is there? Alright, so this should go to this. And that's funny. Do you suppose the electric start works? I'll tap it. No. It may be in gear. I don't know why. Could be that there has to be a brake on. I don't know. Rotate it all the way forward. What does it do? Light goes out. Lights go out all the way forward. I don't know what that switch position is. I'll have to look. Alright, so the electric starter is not working. I don't know. There's maybe something that I have to do in order to, maybe some actuators that have to be on or some wiring or whatever. Or maybe it's burnt out too. But okay, that's kind of cool. So I think next step now is to see if I've got spark. There's a whole bunch of stuff that I should probably test. The gap and whatnot. But I don't think it'll hurt to just turn this thing on. Yeah, and then hold this here and see if I've got any spark. I'm going to kick it over. Yeah, I got spark. Holy cow. Okay, try the other one. That's surprising. Yeah, I got spark in the other one as well. Not quite as bright. Boy, this one was just really... Yeah, the one on the right is very aggressive. The one on the left, not quite so much, maybe because I just don't have it grounded as well. But yeah, I'm getting good spark. Okay. Wow, that's surprising. Next step, I believe, is going to be, well, I got my choice. I can either work on the carburetors or I can work on the top end to see what my problem with compression is. So there we go. Oop, turn this off. Cool, cool.